embarrassing because someone's going to see that I'm recording. Yeah, that is great. That is great because now someone knows that I'm filming a video with you. I feel like I haven't done a drive with you for so long, and I think I can explain why. So I actually headed to Malaysia for 2 weeks with my family, and it was such a beautiful time. So we came back a few weeks ago. Okay. We came back a few weeks ago. I just thought, you know what? Now I've kind of settled in, I just needed to do a video and tell you how it feels to drive after 2 weeks of no driving, because I don't think no one really talks about it. I don't think people actually say or even share their thoughts on how it feels to drive after not even touching your car for like 2 weeks. And like, you hear people say even 1 or 2 or even 3 days when someone doesn't drive their car, it feels completely different and it feels weird. But with driving after 2 weeks, when I did my first drive, my first actual drive was for work, and when I tell you, it felt incredibly weird. I mean, what's crazy is your muscle memory knows. Okay, this is what we usually do every single day, and just because we haven't done it for 2 weeks, you know, the brain knows how to drive as you would usually drive, and your brain just kind of picks that up. But with regards to kind of mentally being prepared, I don't think that is what your brain is kind of ready for, because I think mentally I was like, oh, so I'm actually driving now, like this feels really weird. But for some reason I find it so amazing how my brain or muscle memory kind of knew knew how to just pick things back up again. I mean, I'm kind of being dramatic now, like I'm being really dramatic because I'm acting as if I haven't driven for like 6 weeks, like months. But still, like, I genuinely felt weird after driving for 2 weeks. It just kind of goes to show that even if you don't drive for 2 or 3 weeks, it's okay, because your brain does pick that up. And you know, you just continue doing things how you would usually do things. And I didn't have any problems in driving. I felt like I was big for the car, I don't know, or I felt I was too small for the car. One of those, like, I felt out of place. I don't think my body was kind of used to just like being boxed up, like sitting in the car. I don't know, I'm being dramatic here, but I just think it's so interesting because I don't know, you don't really hear from people saying that, you know, after, you know, haven't driven for like 2 weeks after holiday, and like their thoughts. I just want to hear kind of how they feel. And if you guys have gone on holidays, or like you guys are currently going on holiday and you're worried about coming back to getting back to driving, it is fine. Like, it's okay, and like your brain does pick that up. I think it's just kind of being mentally prepared that, oh, so we're back to driving now. No more taxis. I honestly miss Malaysia so much. Like, it was honestly such a good time. It took about 20 hours in total from the UK to Malaysia, including the delays and the layovers, whatever you want to call it. We were jet lagged. However, I just think it was so worth it. Like, there's things, but this is what I believe. I believe, like, if you're going to pay a lot of money for anything, like it could be a cupcake. If you're going to pay a cupcake like £5 versus a cupcake that was £2, yeah, it's like, it's a piss take, because in the moment it's like, oh my god, that is just like so much money. But then once you eat it and it actually tastes good, it's like, well, that was worth it, right? Like, it was worth it. Same thing. Now, I don't know why I gave you that analogy, but it was just there in the moment. But like, that's kind of the same thing with like going on holiday and traveling so far on the other side of the world to Malaysia, because you're gonna get people be like, well, that's such a long way away, like, really. And yeah, I would do it again, yeah, because I just feel like all of the precious parts of the world, and like the really beautiful gems and diamonds, you know, you've got to travel far for it. It's not just going to be there at your doorstep, or it's not going to be like an hour away, you know. So that's one thing that we kind of had to understand. I feel like after I come back from holiday, I really just want to plan the next one and get going, you know. I think it's so hard to come back from a country and have that lifestyle and enjoy yourself so much and enjoy the culture and just like the way that life is, to now coming back to your usual routine. So yeah, that is definitely one thing that I'm just kind of it's just kind of depressing, you know. I do want to plan my next holiday, but obviously it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3, is it? If I could recommend Malaysia, I would. I think you guys should definitely go. It's so worth it, and it's definitely a nice experience. People are nice. Although it was absolutely humid, like it was really, really hot. Although apparently in Malaysia, the time we went, the end of June, the beginning of July when we had gone, apparently at that time it's monsoon showers, which basically means that there's like a few rains going on. That's just kind of the season there, and we didn't think any of it. But then at one point we were like, oh shit, monsoon showers. We do not want showers, we want sun. But actually when you got there, it was practically like a warmth throughout the entire trip. I think maybe like 2 days out of the whole entire trip where we would have like a 20-minute shower or 20-minute rain, and then it will stop. It messes with your head because in the UK when it rains it's actually cold, but when over there when it rained it was so like humid, and I'm just like, oh, this is an interesting feeling. And it definitely feels like weird. We're just coming back to like the reality and all of that stuff. Thought I'd talk about my driving experience, you know, after coming back from a country, after coming back and not driving for 2 weeks. I mean, now it's been a couple of weeks, so I'm good. I'm back into the swing of things. But at the time, for that first drive, I was like, this feels really weird. But again, you know, as I mentioned earlier, you must remember it really just picks that up and there's literally nothing to worry about. Also guys, right now I'm so excited and I'm so happy right now, and you might be asking why. Like, you're going to work, what could be more exciting? Well, I'm sorry, but like it's literally summer holidays, so that means no children, and that means no school, and that means no traffic. Sometimes you just can't stand work traffic in the morning, and then you've got the whole school traffic, and then it's like double traffic, and then it's like, oh my god, give me a break. It just feels very nice, satisfying to know that, you know, there's no schools and the roads are so quiet. Like, oh my god, it feels so good just to drive peacefully. Something that I was like so depressed to come back to the UK, because I mean, you would think that, oh, you know, when we come back, you know, we're gonna kind of ease into this nice summer weather because, you know, we're back, you know, we're still in the summer months. Well, no, you're wrong, because I'm sorry, but like the UK weather is just not it. How are we nearly end of July and you're telling me it's like gloomy outside? It's giving October, November time. And then it made me more depressed being back, because it's like, at least if I come back, you know, you want it to be nice weather, so you kind of forget about the holiday and you're like, oh, it's fine, I'm practically still in Malaysia, but you know, because of the weather. I actually need to tell you this because I'm so mad. Basically, my car has been having an issue. Don't get me wrong, I love my car, I think it's great. I think that I'm so incredibly grateful to be able to buy a car that is pretty good for a first car. Usually with first cars, you know, you don't really spend a lot. Number two, you kind of get like more of an older plate, like the early 2000s kind of plate. But thankfully for me, I was able to get one that was, you know, was pretty good in terms of, I think it's, I might be wrong guys, I might be wrong, but I think it's a 2014, 2016 plate this car is. So that's pretty good, I'd say, in my opinion, for like a first car. And the condition of the car was absolutely amazing, like a 10 out of 10, you know, completely clean. Everything was working as expected, like it was definitely doing its thing. But for some reason, I'm having to make a trip to Halfords every 2 weeks. Now you might be asking, well, that doesn't seem normal. Well, you're right, because it isn't normal. Because why am I having to go to Halfords buying 2 litres of oil? At one point I had to get 4 because I thought, you know, I'll just stock up, I'll bulk up, because I'm not making another trip to Halfords. I'm also just have it all in my boot. Which isn't great. And I always convinced myself that this was normal. Your engine oil should be running out monthly. That's normal. Why? Because your car is a 1 litre. And surely 1 litres, they drink a lot of oil. That's quite standard. Everyone knows that. And also, I even said that maybe because I rev a lot as I move off. Not revving because I want to do my thing. No, I rev because I don't want to stall. It's the fear of stalling that makes me want to rev. Because the more rev, then the more chances that I'm going to move off without stalling. Okay? So, I did not think that my engine oil running out monthly was an issue. I just thought that was normal. But then when I started to go around, well, it got to a point where I was completely fed up and so mad that I was having to constantly be on edge when I would see that red engine oil light pop up on my dashboard, and I would try to ignore it, but it was there in my face and it was red, and it was like, alert, red flag, your engine oil is running out. I always thought, oh, that was a warning. It was telling me that maybe in like 2 or 3 weeks time, just top up your engine oil and you'll be good. But no, that light meant you kind of had no engine oil in your car. Like, you actually needed to put it in now or you're gonna die. That's what I did. So I put in the engine oil, and just one day it just got to me. That was kind of my last straw. I was like, no, I'm not dealing with this. I just can't deal with the fact that I have to always make a trip to Halfords, always have to worry about that sign popping up. And I'm like, oh, how many days left till the end of the month? Oh my God, it's going to come up any second. And then it comes up and I'm like, no. So I asked, I did a bit of market research. I can't, I said that, I actually can't. I did a bit of market research. And I asked around, I asked the family members, the work people, I asked everyone. I'm like, guys, is this normal? Is this expected behaviour? Because I'm sorry, why is my engine running out every month? Like, why? Like, is this normal? And I started giving the reasons as to why I think this was potentially normal. Like, one of the reasons as to why, yeah, like, this is fine, you know. All of those reasons that I listed earlier. And they're like, no. And I'm like, but you don't have a 1 litre, do you? So, duh, you wouldn't get it because you're not part of the 1 litre gang. And they're like, yeah, we do. Yeah, we have 1 litre cars. We have 1.2 litre cars. And then I'm just there like, oh, okay. Yeah, no. I couldn't start. Well, I couldn't make any more excuses, really. It was kind of the end for me there. So then I went home to my mum and dad, and I was like, well, maybe there might be something wrong with your car then. And I'm like, okay, so maybe you could have said that earlier. What I'm going to do now is kind of make sure that I get this car checked out, either by a garage or whatever, someone just to have a look at it and see what seems to be an issue. I do need to actually look into it because I'm just kind of like putting it off. So yeah, once that gets looked into, I'll update you guys. But yeah, that's kind of the story. And I guess I would say the moral of the story is stop trying to convince yourself, stop being delulu. We need to stop with the delusion, okay? Like, it's fun to always be delulu and just kind of convince yourself this is normal, this is fine, this is the life, but it's not. Okay? Let's not. It also tells you to spot the red flags. If you see the red flag, see it for what it is. Let's not pretend it's a green flag waving. Let's not pretend it's a green flag waving. Let's not. Okay, this guy or this ugly van behind me. Hello. You can't see him trying to overtake me, you little rats. Honestly, some drivers are so incredibly impatient. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this little drive with me. I feel like I always kind of talk about the most randomest things, and I'm always changing topics, but I think that's what makes the drive with me more fun and, yeah, enjoyable to even make. So I'll see you guys in the next one.